We're visiting with Sean Gholson here at Douglas High School. Sean's the head wrestling coach. And Sean, really great to have you join us here on Black Hills TV.
Hey.
People want to get to know you. We have a lot of wrestlers that watch our videos. And you grew up in Wyoming and wrestled out there.
Yeah, I grew up in Upton, Wyoming, graduated from there in 1990. Started wrestling when I was in 5th grade. And then just kind of went from there, moved to Upton in 6th grade and became part of the AAU program there, the USA program, freestyle. And then just kept plugging away, and then high school I got 4th my junior year, and then 3rd my senior year. Had a little injury in my bug my senior year, but I battled back and got 3rd.
3rd place is pretty good.
Yeah, I was, I should have been in the finals. I'm not going to lie. I probably would have been in the finals if I wouldn't have got hurt and lost half my season.
And you had a brother that was a state champion in Wyoming.
Yep, my brother came out of nowhere, won state his sophomore year, kind of underdog, and he's about 5'5", wrestled a guy that was about 6'2" in the finals, and
wow.
I always remember because he was on the top part of the podium, and the guy was on the second podium, and the guy was still taller than him. But he won with a last-minute escape, and so it was really exciting for me to see as a brother for him to win state. So,
you must have made him good, huh?
Well, I think so. I'm always tougher than he was. So.
Well, of course, you're always tougher than your brother,
That's
right?
right. A lot of wrestling matches in the living room.
Oh, yeah. You won most of those.
Absolutely.
Of course, you're a little bigger kid.
I was bigger, different weight classes, but still got it done.
Yeah. So what were some of the first moves you learned back when you were a kid?
Well, the first move that got me, so first year wrestling, didn't win a match. I went, my mom and dad called that the good old days because wrestle 2, go home early. But then
some guys go undefeated, but you're just the opposite.
I did not win one match my 5th grade year.
Oh, wow.
And then 6th grade year, coach taught me the bear hug. And so I bear hugged everybody and threw them and took them to the mat. And that was my move. And then started winning matches, getting in, the championship round. And so that was my bread and butter.
Yeah. Sean, how about after high school?
After high school, went to Jamestown College in North Dakota. Wrestled for 2 years there. But my senior year, like I said, I had an injury. I blew my shoulder out my senior year, battled back, rehab for that. And then in college, same thing. Hurt the same shoulder my freshman year, about halfway through the season. Rehabbed it, came back my sophomore year, hurt the other shoulder. And then I thought, maybe it's just time to eat pizza.
What kind of pizza you like?
Hot.
So injuries forced you out of wrestling?
Yeah, injury did force me out, but I kept going in the room just as a kind of a volunteer, just as a practice dummy for the guys, a lot of my buddies, because I knew I was going to eventually coach wrestling someday, so I still want to be around the sport. So I'd go in there and just still roll around the guys and just be near it, and I really enjoyed that part, and that helped me become a coach.
How did it work out? When did you become a coach?
My first year out of college, I became an assistant coach in Garrison, North Dakota. I taught at a reservation school. They didn't have wrestling, so I had to drive 20 miles to a school, Garrison, and they were looking for an assistant, and I was an assistant there for 1 year and learned a lot from a coach there by the name of Dan Splickle. Kind of showed me the ropes, let me have some of the guys on my own, kind of work my technique. And then I moved to Newell, South Dakota. I was there for 2 years as a head coach, and I had one kid make it to the finals. Mm-hmm. We didn't win. We lost by a score of 10-7, Darren Ward, and he was my first finalist I had.
Mm-hmm. And Newell, they love their high school sports there.
Absolutely. Newell's a great town, small town. They follow sports. They love activities, and they love their athletes. So it was a great place for me to be. I really have a lot of good memories of Newell.
After Newell, you came over to Douglas?
Yep. After Newell came here, I was kind of just looking for a next step in my profession, maybe moving up, bigger school. Douglas was kind of a program that was maybe needed some growth. Mm-hmm. When I was in Newell, we'd beat Douglas in duels all the time.
Wow. So,
and they were a bigger school, and I just couldn't figure out why.
Maybe it was the good coaching.
Maybe it was. So came here, and they were kind of rebuilding. So, came out, I had like 6 returning wrestlers. So I just beat the halls, and I got about 15, 17 guys out that first year. A lot of them had not ever wrestled, and I just started building it from there.
In the 2019-2020 team, how many did you have out?
Well, this year we were really a small squad. We started out with a lot of wrestlers. Started out probably about 20. End of the season with 10. Mm-hmm. So injuries and just people, it's just hard to get kids to do things. They just don't want to follow through.
And you had a couple that made the state tournament.
But yeah, but the ones I did had were really quality. I had 2 state qualifiers, should have had 3. Had one get beat in the heartbreak round at the region tournament who should have been a qualifier, but That's the way wrestling goes. You can't ever let your guard down. But I had a 7th grader qualify at 106, Cale Krauser. He's actually from New Underwood. We co-op with New Underwood. And so he came over as a 7th grader, and he made immediate impact. He is going to be a special kid to watch in the future because he just got a big heart. He's got a competitive spirit. He learns. He listens. And so he's going to have a good season next year.
He gets after it.
He gets after it, and he hates to lose. So he's always willing to learn. And then the other qualifier I had was Mason Finsterwalder, and he's a heck of a story because his junior year he blew his knee out in February at the Yankton Invitational. And had he not blown his knee out, he probably would have been a place winner that year. He dislocated his knee. Rehabbed all summer, went to football camp, did fine, went to another football camp, did it again. So he lost out on his whole football season. And then he rehabbed, and it was just getting better. And we thought maybe he might be able to sneak in for wrestling after Christmas. So he started coming up and practicing with us, and after Christmas, he finally got cleared, got him into a few matches. Mom and Dad were very nervous, but we had to talk him into it. And, he came out, and knee was doing good, held up, ends up qualifying for state. And just making it to state was a big thing for him because he's planning to go play football at South Dakota Tech. So I think it was mentally he had to do it, just to push him to know that his knee's okay and he's going to be fine.
Sounds like he had a great year.
Yeah, we had a pretty good year. We were light in the numbers, but we competed. If we could have eliminated forfeits and all the duels, we'd have been right there with all the teams we wrestled. So we just gave up too many weights and, just too many forfeits in weight classes.
And a bright future coming up here with the program.
Yeah, one thing we did this year is we brought up about 10 middle schoolers, 7th and 8th graders, to wrestle, and just to get them a little experience. And their goal was to go to the middle school state tournament in Pierre in February. So they wrestled with us, got some JV matches, got to be in the room, figure out what it's going to be like, and understand that this is something they can do in high school. And so real proud. We had 2 kids that went to the state middle school's tournament in place. We had Peter Carlson at 145, 8th grader. He placed. He got 7th. And then we had a 7th grader place, Cason Tibbetts, and he got 4th at 113. So we've got a bunch of good young kids coming up. So here in 2 or 3 years, we should be salty again.
Yeah, kind of starts with them at that age.
It does, and we knew it was coming. Douglas is always a peak and valley. We got a lot of movement in and out, and so we saw this coming for quite a while, and we knew our numbers were going to start dipping. Didn't think it was going to dip this much, but you just roll with it at Douglas. We just, we're kind of used to it.
Sean Gholson, Patriots head wrestling coach. Sean, we appreciate you taking time to visit.
Hey, I appreciate you guys coming out.